Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right, in honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories throughout the years. Today's episodes are The Return of the Rogue Rabbit and Live and Let Drive. We already have a comment from Aquatad, and I haven't seen this episode, but when I heard it, it's really cool. Well, the second one is I can at least say that for my personal opinion. So, Dragon, what do you think? Today's episode cool?
I mean, there we go. Now we can talk about it.
Okay, what about... Okay, we have a return of Dennis, the menacing rabbit.
Fun wordplay there.
Thank you.
I enjoyed this one. I thought this one was pretty funny.
It is. I thought so too. It was kind of nice to see Dennis come back.
Oh yeah.
And when Doofenshmirtz's idea is actually a good one for a change.
Mm-hmm.
And the puppet was a bit freaky, but still pretty interesting.
It's hilarious how it came about.
It is. And so, Dragon, I told you the recent reveal of season 5's cast new guest stars. You want me to save that for the end of the stream, or do you want me to do that up front?
Well, you tell me. What do you want to do? You want to do it at the end? You want to do it now? You're throwing breaking news at the folks here.
I think I might actually save it for the end after we're done talking about the second episode.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that. I just wanted to ask up front, just in case, because we didn't discuss it before we went live, and I feel kind of bad about that.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, folks. Apologies for the inside baseball.
Gonna break a window.
Yes. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
I have another comment. You could always do it between episodes. Yeah, true. But I think it'll be better if because there, I will say this: there is one particular guest star that I know Dragon will be ecstatic about. Who knows? Maybe more than one, but one I definitely know for sure. Anyway, so the episode begins at Alcatraz, where Dennis is being held captive in a high security glass cage.
I love
he has a water bottle with him.
I love the pun of Alcatraz.
Yep, it is nice.
So he's sprung via disco ball with Inspector Gadget arms within it.
Yep. Again, pretty good move on Doof's part.
Oh yeah.
Because we know it's Doof because we see Norm doing it. Norm careening in, throwing the statue off, and then lowering the disco ball.
We should take a brief moment just to, kind of tribute.
Yes, we did. Folks, this week we lost another Norm.
The original Norm.
Yes, George Wendt, unfortunately passed away this week.
Yeah.
Well, all we know, Dragon, is that wherever he went, no pun intended there, unfortunately, wherever he went, he was when he arrived. You know how they greeted him, right?
Yep.
They said, "Norm." They like welcoming him an old friend.
Oh yeah.
It is unfortunate, but he lived a long life.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I know. And I'm sure you guys will talk more about it during memoirs.
Right.
Anyway. But yeah, Norm helped Doofenshmirtz spring Dennis from Alcatraz. And Doof has a pretty good idea for once. Team up with him because they both have Perry as a nemesis. And you have to admit, his whole backpack idea that can transform into like a mech suit or anything you can imagine is actually pretty cool.
Basically making Dennis A bionic bunny.
A bionic bunny, you say?
Yeah.
All right.
Now you know what I'm referring to with bionic bunny, don't you?
I'm gonna guess Freakazoid
No.
or Jimmy Neutron,
No.
Duck Dodgers.
No. No.
All right. Then what is it?
Arthur.
Arthur.
The PBS show.
I know what Arthur is.
Yeah, don't you remember their Superman parody was Bionic Bunny?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, I think you learned something.
Yeah, that I didn't watch enough Arthur apparently.
Yeah.
Hey. All right then.
All right.
I didn't. Sorry, Dragon. I didn't know. But it does. You have to admit that does kind of sound like something out of Freakazoid.
I don't know about Freakazoid or Bionic Bunny. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Kinda.
Anyway.
It wouldn't be out of the. Sounds something like. Does kind of sound like a parody. Kind of. I think.
Well, yeah.
So anyway. Isabella is showing her puppetry skills. The Den Mother.
I love this joke.
Yep.
It's a hilarious parody. What I love about this joke so much
Yeah.
is that this is what every kid probably thought The Godfather was about when they saw that poster.
The puppets.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's inspired by, like the marionettes on the poster of The Godfather.
Yep. Yeah. Obviously, the real one being more symbolic.
I just love that we have both this and Rugrats being kind of like the kind of the kid-friendly media that has parodied The Godfather.
I mean, how many kids would get the reference there?
What I'm saying is like 3 examples I can think of where we've done The Godfather in animation like this. Where you have Phineas and Ferb, you have Rugrats in Paris, and of course, most memorably, Freakazoid.
The Freakazoid.
God, one of my favorite episodes. I just love how it starts. You just have Paul Rugg just doing like, I believe in the superhero, but not that Hulk, not that smelly Hulk fellow. We reveal he's a Shriner, and it's just like this.
Isn't that the one where he has to like do the favors because it's his
Yeah, and that's the one where we have like the whole we go to Spielberg to break the tie.
It's like, who are you people?
Exactly, same episode. So I just love this at the start of that. Just like we have like Paul Rugg as like the parody of like the Undertaker. In this case, is a shrine. This my daughter's boyfriend, Sven or something. He make fun of my car, my little Shriner car. I call it my little putter putt. You making fun of me for the car I drive in front of my daughter.
You embarrassed him in front of her.
Exactly. I want justice. I want you to shove an egg down his shorts.
Well, as far as the revenge schemes go, that's actually not that bad. It's a little embarrassing, but not too bad.
It's okay, 1 egg. Thank you.
And does he shove the egg down the pants?
Well, we don't see it.
Ah.
I mean, he was busy though. He probably did it between setups.
Probably. Maybe he did it before he mowed the lawn.
Yeah. That episode has the Aaron Neville parody, which is hysterical.
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, Aaron Neville, like the, like the kind of.
Oh, all right.
Song. Yeah. Like the Loeb Loves His Christmas album. I love that right before he takes the whole place hostage. It's like, I love your Christmas album, and then
oh God.
Or like Freakazoid has kind of a depressed song, and basically it's Jeff Bennett as Aaron Neville, like doing an Aaron Neville song.
Oh God.
Because the kids love Aaron Neville, Jacob.
Well, of course they do, just like they love The Godfather.
Well, yeah. I mean, decapitated horses. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah, decapitated horses, cannoli, guns.
Oranges that they're symbolic of crime and death.
And the Godfather's the only one to die of natural causes.
Yep.
Yeah. Because kids are totally going to pick up on the nuance of that.
Okay, so the point being the den mother again, not just be the literal poster kind of like gag, but beyond that is just the fact that we perfectly parody the end scene of The Godfather. The whole I'm going to give you one opportunity. Okay, I'm going to give you one opportunity to ask me about my affairs.
Yep.
Basically, Boldface lies to her, and it's basically do that with a den mother and a Fireside Girl.
Oh god. At least this one didn't end with a
Are
door
you
being.
a puppet? I'm a marionette. Forget about it.
At least this one didn't end with the door slamming in someone's face.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've seen that movie, but
Well, in Slam, it just
I know,
it epically shut.
Yeah, shut. But yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't seen that movie in years, Dragon. But I have seen it at least like twice.
Why haven't you seen it in years?
I don't know, just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I have seen it.
Sure.
I specifically have the Francis Ford Coppola collection version.
Yeah.
Like the whole Don Corleone funeral scene is actually the main menu. All right. It's like, so yeah, Phineas thinks that Isabella's puppetry deserves to be seen by everyone. Buford describes his uncle Oslo from Oslo, who was like, whose puppets would be seen by miles, at least if you had ever built one, ever finished one.
And of course, we have the whole, wait a minute.
Oslo's in Norway. I thought, isn't your family Dutch?
I love that, too. The whole, just throwing continuity out the window.
For the sake of a good joke.
So they build a giant marionette, essentially to freak people out.
And of course, Vinny, we have another moment where Phineas would you like to take the next step? He's like, oh yes, Phineas. I was like, oh wait, you're talking about the puppet. He has to learn phrasing, doesn't he, Dragon?
Yes, he does. He's got to learn from the Book of Archer.
Phrasing.
Phrasing? Are we not phrasing anymore?
Have you seen that episode of? I haven't seen the entire series, but have you seen that bit of Archer where he goes to Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, I did.
And they bring in the cast of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I mean that was early on. That was like season 4, I think.
I know that season 4 was in Archer. I thought it was I thought it was a later season anyway. Like I said,
I'm not sure.
I mean, you've probably seen more Archer than I have.
Between 4 and 6, I don't know. I thought it was 4. I thought it was like earlier, but because it's like Archer has kind of a memory wipe thing happen.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was one of the later seasons.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
Anyway,
unfortunately, I dropped off at Archer towards the tail end because they had all these hiatuses. And the problem with here's the problem with Archer. Great show. Problem is, they hit a point where Archer ended up in a coma. And while he was in a coma, they had these. It feels like the excuse for the coma was they wanted to do genre kind of based, limited,
like Deadland, what is it? Dreamland, like the Explorer ones.
Yeah, so they they're genre bending, and they needed a reason to do it. So it's like, okay, Archer's kind of thinking about this stuff while he's comatose. So that's where, and basically if you don't really go with it's like a season-long kind of genre that they're working in, so you're not thrilled with how they're tackling the genre. It's like, I don't know if I want to watch, the whole kind of offshoot season before we get back to the main action when he wakes up.
Yeah, that makes
sense. I did fall. So unfortunately, I fell off of Archer because of that. But
Yep. I understand that.
But I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. Archer's a good show.
And actually, the one year that this show was nominated for outstanding animated program, Archer beat it.
Huh.
Yep. So yeah. And I haven't really watched a lot of Bob's Burgers either, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I would go with Archer over Bob's Burgers, but nothing against Bob's Burgers.
I mean, Bob's Burgers the best thing to happen to Fox in years.
That's true.
I mean, as far as I know, it still is.
And that's the thing, though. Most of that's just a tribute to H. John Benjamin.
Oh my God. No, I mean that's literally what he says most. That's basically Bob's catchphrase. Is "Oh my god."
Exactly.
It's hilarious.
I mean, that's the thing. Honestly, it's kind of the same thing between Archer and Bob's Burgers. Those shows are made or kind of make or break with with H. John Benjamin. So you could. I will admit, honestly, it feels like Bob's Burgers is much more dependent on H. John Benjamin. But
like I mean, well, either way, it's him working off the ensemble. I think that's what makes it work.
Sure. The idea of doing like the voice gender swap on Linda was still rather inspired.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Tina also has like the same. There was like the same idea of like, okay, well, she's a daughter,
Louise is the only one of his children to actually be voiced by a woman.
And I wonder if that's because she's the youngest. I wonder if the idea is when you get older in the kind of the Bob's Burger family.
No idea. I mean, and Kogi has even says like I haven't seen much of. I'm not a big fan of what I've seen of Bob's Burger. But Sean Benjamin's voice actor. He's a good voice actor.
He also, I read his book. He's pretty. He's got a pretty interesting life.
Huh.
Well, let me rephrase. Not an interesting life, but he has a very good perspective on life.
Oh, that's good.
I think his book was called like "Failure is an Option."
I mean, it always is an option.
Yeah.
So back to the what do you think of like Babyface Truck?
It was a weird one for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Like the only excuse to have it in there is to have Phineas ask, "Aren't you a little young?"
Exactly.
That's the only reason they include. That's like we haven't had Phineas ask this question yet. We need to have him do it at least once.
You know what Babyface Trucking reminded me of though?
What?
It reminded me of Babyface from Batman: Brave and the Bold.
Oh yeah.
You remember that we had like we had Babyface, and I'm trying to remember what his girlfriend was like, Lady Manface or something. It was
yeah. Like you wouldn't hit a woman, would you? The hammer of justice is unisex.
Now, where's that line in Batman Returns? I ask you.
Yep.
So this man face was still really funny. It was just kind of like a reversal of the Dr. Girlfriend from the Venture Brothers. It's the idea like, okay, sit from the back, attractive female, but again, you just have like a literal. It's not even just like a handsome woman. It's literally a man's face. It's a square jaw, just Dick Tracy kind of villain face.
With a beard and everything, like a 5 o'clock
yep,
shadow.
5 o'clock shadow and the whole. It's but again, I'm pretty sure a lady's voice. So again, it's like it's kind of the reversal. Like Dr. Girlfriend is having a very, very macho voice, but again, incredibly, sexy Bond girl kind of look.
Yep.
Well, Jackie, kind of a Jackie O Bond girl look, but kind of a combination.
Yep. Brave and the Bold continues to be underrated.
Okay, here's something. Little Blue points out, I feel like Bob's Burgers is what is keeping Kevin Kline still busy. I didn't know Kevin Kline was. I really don't watch a lot of Bob's. I don't really watch Bob's Burgers. I catch clips of it when it's on TV, and I love Kevin Kline. I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was in it.
I didn't remember that.
At the very least, I know he had like a major. I knew I saw that he popped up, and I know he was like in it,
So yeah, back to the puppet.
Well, I mean, no, wait. Before we get to the puppet,
yeah.
It's again Kevin Kline in the 2006 Pink Panther, underrated movie. I'm just gonna say that. Yes, doesn't pales in comparison to the Peter Sellers films. By the same token, I'm loving Kevin Kline the way I do. He is, he's kind of fun as the glutton for punishment in that movie, and I would say better than John Cleese, but
And the intro movie also has Eric Goldberg animating it.
Yeah.
So that's another reason to like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, the giant puppet,
marionette, Jacob.
Giant marionette. Yeah.
Get it right. We had a whole Godfather play about it.
So what did you think of? So what did you make of the marionette song?
Oh, it was haunting.
Yeah. It kind of freaked you.
It was this trippy giant marionette thing.
The end.
My favorite thing about this marionette, by the way, I love the mobile like curtain to the side as my favorite part of the whole gimmick here.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean?
I'm just wondering, like, what? I'm just explaining. Just explain, like, why?
Well, we see, it's just a great kind of vehicle design. If you have like the little the idea that the puppet is so ginormous versus just like this, like the little curtain area is basically the control room, the control panel for it.
It is a really clever idea, yeah.
Instead of like, I think initially you would imagine, okay, the controls would be in the puppet, but like no, it's a marionette would be in the little puppet stage.
And then like they control with the string mechanisms from the curtain. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Like I said, it's a pretty neat idea.
Mm-hmm.
kind of freaky though, especially when it gets all psychedelic.
Yeah. It was an odd choice.
Yeah.
Admittedly, not a lot to the episode outside of marionettes can be creepy.
Yep.
Not necessarily creepy, but can be creepy.
And it's like, and basically all the people just starting to thinking it's some kind of like symbolic thing when it's actually just a giant puppet.
Yeah.
That's funnily enough, that's kind of like sometimes a recurring joke in like these shows by these guys, like people like thinking like it's some comic con, like people like making these random things have to be commentaries or some kind of social thing, but like not everything is commentary. Is one of the lines.
We do have a great Freakazoid-esque joke.
And well, first of all, this is psychedelia. It's where the guitar solo came from. Remember that one, Dragon?
Yeah.
All right, but as you were saying, good Freakazoid joke.
Yeah, the Viking is right.
He's right. Yeah, I love that. It's like basically the Fireside Girls telling us, look into our souls and find the power to embrace love for all humanity. The Viking is right. Why is there a Viking there? Who knows?
Well, he's getting ready for the new How to Train Your Dragon remake.
He's a little early there, but yeah.
Well, it was many years in production, Jacob.
Yep. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I just got a How to Train Your Dragon shirt today.
Was it button up?
No.
Okay.
It was a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It has toothless. It has hiccup writing toothless.
I'd be shocked if it didn't.
I mean, there's a shirt from where we got it that it just has Astrid on it. So.
Well, I know, but I had no doubt you would get one with toothless and hiccup on it.
Oh yeah. Love toothless.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't love toothless.
I don't know people that hate life.
Yep. To quote Homer Simpson, "He who is tired of toothless is tired of life." You know who he was referencing in the original quote, right?
Oh.
Weird Al.
Oh.
Say, he who is tired of Weird Al is tired of life.
Oh, there you go.
Which is also a true statement.
No, that's also that tracks.
Yep.
All right, so while all this is going on, we have an amazing rematch between Perry the Platypus and Dennis the bunny.
It's like Dennis is very well utilizing the backpack that Doofenshmirtz made him that can change into like a mech suit and other things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I installed cameras on Dennis's suit so he could watch it. Who installed them?
That was such a good joke. There's no one just like calling out like.
He's like, who? It's like, who did it? It's like, it was my idea.
I gave you life. Shut up.
That's the classic mother excuse, isn't it, Dragon?
Pretty much.
It's like, hey, I brought you into this world.
I'll take you out of it.
Yep. Your mother said that too.
Well, not so many words.
Oh. Because I've heard that quite a bit throughout my life. So yeah, the fight briefly takes.
Is that when she expressed the regret that her other son couldn't have been Diedrich Bader?
Like, no, because that's not her other son. She doesn't have another son.
Oh, so maybe she was like, well, why can't my actual son be Diedrich Bader?
clarify things, Dragon. My older brother is from my is from my dad and another
I
woman.
know he's your. I know. I was just going for still. Why can't my? Why
I'm
can't
sure.
my?
Yeah, I'm sure she wishes. I'm sure she. But I don't know, Dragon. To be honest, I don't know. I don't even know if she knows who Diedrich Bader is.
Are you saying your mother has no taste?
Yeah, in this case, probably.
Hmm.
I mean, she has good taste in a lot of other things, but when it comes to Diedrich Bader, probably not.
That's very, very sad.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So the fight briefly takes the Perry and Dennis fight, which is awesome, by the way. Like Dennis immediately tries to go for the kill, kind of.
Oh yeah. And then we have an interruption where Candace is reunited with her beloved pet, Cutie Patootie.
It's like she and Stacey are talking about cheese, like something that makes like the lining of cheese or something like that. And she's like, and Stacey retorts her like, yet every time we talk about sushi, you say it's disgusting. I've never had sushi though.
Well, a lot of people are put off by sushi because it's uncooked.
Well, I mean, it's only dangerous if it's not prepared properly.
If we learned anything from that Duck Dodgers episode.
I don't. You have a samurai quack.
Yes, yes.
That was a great episode, wasn't it?
I just love how stupidly foolish he was with the sushi. Literally just like a puffer fish. You just beat the crap out of it, didn't even cut it up.
Wasn't that a great episode though?
Well, yeah. We had Mako.
And Kenny Tartakovsky as well.
Well, yeah.
Like he played the human that he almost sliced up.
Well, no, yeah.
He's like, wait, we can't give
I mean,
it.
it was modeled after him too. That's what was great about it. But
And void like, and as I read about recently, it's amazing how much of that actually predicted season 5. Right?
yeah.
Kind of ironic, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
One wonders if Gendy remembered Duck Dodgers when writing season 5. He was like, Anyway, it's like, so yes, Candace is reunited with Cutie Patootie. After he disappears, Stacy ponders if he's at the docks. Why would a lagomorph be at the docks, Dragon?
Jay, why wouldn't a lagomorph be at the docks?
That's a good question.
By the way, Carl, sharing the factoid about lagomorphs.
Yeah.
I'm saying earlier on, it was, it's the it's a little factoid. No one really, I think people do associate bunnies with, rodents, and it's like, no, it's kind of lagomorph.
Did you actually know that before this episode?
I did not. Well, I didn't know the exact. I didn't know lagomorph. I know like there's like some versions of like rabbit bunny that has like an L in it for like the derivation. I didn't know if it was like. I didn't know it was like. I didn't know it was like morph. I didn't know morph was in the terminology. I thought it was like lag of something or les something.
I didn't actually know that until this episode either.
That much I knew half of it. I knew like just the first. I knew it was like the actual bunny name because it's something with the ears or something. But that's about it.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know until this show came until I watched this episode either.
Yeah.
Like, see, this show can be educational sometimes.
Yep.
And there's no need to say "dang it, Carl" this time, is there?
No, Carl actually taught us something.
Yep. But he doesn't know what an encyclopedia is, so it's kind of offset.
Yeah.
But so he gets off scot free on this one.
Yes, he needs the time travel back to a point where he could have convinced Major Monaghan to invest in a fast food chain, so he could afford encyclopedias in the future. Yes, folks, I'm referring to a convoluted Jimmy Neutron scheme.
What episode was that again?
That was the. God, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It was in season 1. It was the whole thing where Jimmy wanted the encyclopedia set, and his basically his folks they didn't it wasn't the budget. It was very expensive. So he learned that Hugh Neutron was he met old man McSpanky, basically the tantamount to the McDonald's.
Yeah.
The point being, it was like, okay, he had an opportunity to invest in McSpankies, but instead he instead of spending like the last $50 he had on the investment, he spent it on an engagement ring for Judy.
And Jimmy basically
He
convinced
went
him to.
back in time and convinced him, and they messed with the whole timeline.
Yep. I remember that one now.
Yeah, Carl was there. Carl and Sheen were there, but
Dang it, Carl.
Yep.
Those Carls, not this one.
Yeah. Why didn't you stop him, Carl? Then there's like two time travel episodes. You have that, and then you have the. Well, honestly, in Jimmy Neutron, we've traversed time in different ways each time. If you really think about it, we had
Anyone really went back into prehistoric times?
Yeah, I think we've done it maybe like 4 times or so. But the point being, anytime we do, we don't really do it the same way twice. We had the time booth. The time booth we used I think twice. And then we refurbished it to kind of the Stargate kind of the time archway, the chronal archway.
Like, he sent us back 200 million years. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? He sent us back 200 million years.
That was a different device too. That was just the reversal device. The time.
The remote.
Yeah.
That Hugh Neutron.
Hugh Neutron monstrously made a woman experience the miracle of birth.
Yep.
Like 26 times.
Over and over again. Yep.
What? I just want to know how it worked.
Did he actually say that?
No, it just sounds like something.
I was like, because if he actually did say that, it's like, wait, he wasn't there for when Jimmy was born.
Hey, wait, no, my point being, it reminds me of the episode where they went to the future, in which we have man, you screamed no for 4 minutes, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's because of the commercial break.
Yeah, because of the commercial break, and we had the future Carl, who was a fashion outlaw.
No, that was the one where Libby took over the world. Because they gave her the Overlord pheromones or something like that.
Yeah, well, the megalomania
pheromone, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so what show are we talking about again?
Yeah, I think this one.
Well, what's this one?
Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, right, of course, Phineas and Ferb. Yes. So you have a triangular-faced boy. You have a kid with the head the shape of a building, and then anyway. No, seriously.
And season 5 comes out in 2 weeks.
That's right. Anyway, so Perry evens the fight here with the bionic upgraded Dennis, and you have this the giant marionette fighting the bionic bunny.
It's like how many shows will you see? I mean, what other show can you see a platypus controlling a giant marionette fight a bunny in a mech suit?
Not many.
Yes, at least one other show I can follow.
By the way, I love just the moment of just the punch where he just punches Dennis right in the little cockpit.
Yep. that marionette is actually surprising. It's very strong, but also not very dense.
Yeah.
If that you know what I mean by that. As it goes, we'll get to later.
Hey, Jacob, do you know what time it is?
I think I do, Dragon.
It's Gritty Reboot time!
Yay.
So, imagine, we have 2 moments of grittiness here, okay? You have Terry throws that punch and, instantly dead rabbit. Just, we cut away, just, we see the fist covered in red, oh. Also, by the way, I love earlier on, it was so hilarious when Doofenshmirtz is making his pitch to Dennis. We have a Mice and Men reference from Doofenshmirtz.
He's Norm talking about I will hug, talking about loving him in school. I want to hug him. He's like, all right, Lenny.
Take it easy, Lenny.
Which is, of course, a reference to Mice and Men, as you said.
Yep.
It's and also famously referencing, I will hug him and squeeze him and call him George. From Looney Tunes.
I know. I remember.
Yeah, I love that.
There's always the most popularized version of Mice and Men.
Like, I will hug him and squeeze him and call him George. They always go to George for funny name. It's like, oh, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? All right, but as you were saying.
Anyway,
anyway.
so no. The other one,
yeah,
the grittier one. Okay, so
yeah.
in this fight that Perry has with Dennis, basically they end up in the water. Of course, the marionette's made of wood, so it's very buoyant and it's fine. The rabbit sinks, and in the cockpit, we have genuine panic and fear on Dennis the rabbit that he thinks he's actually going to die.
Yep.
Which is again so dark, and then this just makes you want to. Perry's down there. What if he hesitated for a moment? He swam the other way, just leaving Dennis to drown.
that Dennis will menace no one no more.
Yeah. Like him more if we hardly knew ye.
Yeah.
But no. Perry's he's an upstanding semi-aquatic mammal.
Egg-laying mammal of action.
Yes.
Semi-aquatic egg-laying mammal of action.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a hat.
In a hat, yes. But he rescues Dennis by cutting. Are we done with the gritty reboot?
Yeah.
All right. So he cuts the glass open in the suit and rescues Dennis. Meanwhile, Doof's floating off on the puppet to Norway.
Yep.
Like I said, it's very heavy but not very dense, apparently.
No.
I mean, remember, density. If you're less dense, if you can be heavy as you want, but if you're less dense than water, you're gonna float.
Density has brought us together.
Density has brought us together. Is that a reference to something? I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely. You don't recognize it?
No.
Back to the Future.
All right.
Lorraine, my density has brought me to you.
Oh God. Classic movie though.
Density has brought us together.
Yeah, I don't remember every line from that movie. Okay.
I mean, it is like, well, if you're gonna know if any movie is gonna have that, Jacob, it would be Back to the Future, though.
It could have come from anywhere, Dragon, considering all the references we pull from.
Yeah.
I am your density.
Yep.
Dragon, considering the wide range of things that we reference, it could really be coming from anywhere.
Yeah, I guess. Also, so I love that during this, like, Phineas is completely oblivious. All the kids, like, they're grabbing a bite to eat, and it's like in the background you have this action sequence going on.
Yep. Phineas explained like the difference between a puppet and a marionette. He's like, I liked it up. Do you want the whole quote? Because I have it right here.
All right, go on.
The big difference is that the marionette has the marionette has strings, while a puppet is hollow, so it can be manipulated from within. But that doesn't mean that a marionette can't be hollow or a puppet has strings. The thing to remember is that some people take the subject very seriously, even though technically there's no difference grammatically. I looked it up. So yeah. So Doofenshmirtz is floating to Norway to probably live out a new life as a Viking.
Yep.
I'm just kidding, because that's a stereotype.
Yes, it is, Jacob.
I'm sorry for that.
But we should take a moment to acknowledge, again, Norway, home to very attractive women.
Yes. Who may have once been descended from Vikings.
Who don't age.
Yes.
They really don't. I mean, there's any generation of Norwegian lady, just very beautiful.
Norway does have some pretty good-looking women.
Yep.
Who knows? Doof will probably like it there then.
Oh yeah.
So
Either that or a whole nother continent. We'll reject Doofenshmirtz.
Anyway, so Candace does find it. So Perry does have Dennis kind of like booked. Meanwhile, like Candace finds him, and you can tell Perry's worried that maybe this will allow Dennis to escape.
But thankfully, Dennis's real owners his convincing real owners show up.
Wearing a biker helmet and cowboy boots.
Yep. Both wearing mustache. I love that Monogram has a mustache over his mustache, by the way.
In both of these episodes,
In
actually.
both of the episodes.
Yep, he's wearing a handlebar mustache over his over his like brush mustache or whatever it's called.
Nothing's funnier than just the mustache over the mustache so clearly and pathetically.
Yep. And it's like he is a lagomorph. All right. Candace sadly gives him up. It's like they're even talking about like how unconvincing it is, and they're taking off in a helicopter. And then Phineas has to be like, that doesn't really disprove what I said, right? Yeah. And that's it. Yep. Not even a musical sting to end the episode. That just ends with them going, yeah. Kind of strange. But what isn't so strange is Live and Let Drive, where the boys kind of take a back seat, and Perry goes to drive in a Grand Prix. So, Dragon, what are your thoughts on Live and Let Drive?
Oh, this was a great episode.
It's like Bond parody and all.
Yes.
Fun fact, but so there are actually quite a few good, interesting guest stars this episode. No, it's like, Dragon, do you know of the show Top Gear? Like the British version of Top Gear?
No.
Well, it's a show, but it's basically a show where quote unquote friends talk about different kind of cars and driving and things like that. It's actually more interesting than I'm making it sound. But the three hosts of that, Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond, all guest starred as the race commentators for this episode. Joe Whelan, Joe Whelan voiced Cheryl, the one who sang the new song, the song for this episode, which we'll get to. And Paolo Vanderbeek, voiced by actor and racer Patrick Dempsey. What do you make of that?
Well, every time we think of Dempsey, we're thinking of Enchanted.
Yep. I mean, if my mom heard Patrick Dempsey, she'd think of Grey's Anatomy. But
oh yeah.
This episode,
but she's according to you, she's not a cultured woman though.
Dragon, don't put words into my mouth.
That's what you said earlier.
I said when it came to Diedrich Bader.
So she's uncultured. You said yes.
When it comes to Diedrich Bader, I said
no. You didn't say just with Diedrich Bader.
People, rewind the clip and see when I said she was uncultured.
See, they're gonna rewind the clip, and what they're gonna hear
is that
you saying, bro? Yes.
When I said, like I said, I was talking about Diedrich Bader. But all right, is this episode a parody of Wacky Race? There are probably some parallels to it, but it's more of a parody of James Bond than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, there are probably some parallels to Wacky Races here, but
I mean, look, the episode, if everyone had unique signature vehicles, it would be more Wacky Races. There's an element of Wacky Races, but it's a little more.
I mean, it's more. If anything, it's more like Doof, just kind of like Dick Dastardly.
Well, there is, he's very much Dick Dastardly, but the rest of it's pretty much, there's like a real Grand Prix, so
yeah. I still haven't actually watched Wacky Races, any of that.
I think here's the problem with Wacky Races is you've seen one, you've seen them all. They're great though, but it's like you can't really watch it in succession with each other,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen parodies of Wacky Races, so like Dexter's Lab and Batman Braving the Bold both have Wacky Races parodies.
I don't know if I've gone to the Wacky Races episode in Brave and the Bold.
Also, the other reference too, like Cannonball Run. Cannonball Run essentially is the live action version of Wacky Races.
Nice.
Yeah, you said so. You haven't seen the Brave and the Bold episode that parodies Wacky Races.
I don't think so.
It's like you gotta remember they had a lot of fun with the theme Dick Sprang era vehicles. So, like all the Batman villains
I,
and friends and him had like these really cool.
I mean, heck, I mean, a lot of the characters' designs are basically Dick Sprang.
Well, yeah, that's the point, Jacob.
I know, but it's like Batman's design is like ripped out from Dick Sprang in the artwork.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's bad. Like, isn't Phineas and Ferb a show that repeats itself? Yes, it is, but it does more of its formula than I believe Wacky Races does. I
well,
think
the
that's
difference is there's formula, and then there's like literally, it's like okay, it's like it's a race. It's maybe the terrain's slightly different, but it's pretty much like the same events. Like it's like the same like 12, like however many 8 or 12, however many characters. I keep going to 12. I don't know why. However many characters.
basically. I have no idea, but Phineas and Ferb would suit itself quite well to a Wacky Races parody. The chariot race, yeah, the chariot race was actually one of my favorite episodes from season 1.
There you go.
Grease Lightning was the name of that episode.
Yeah, the big vibe I get from this episode is, especially in combination with the previous episode,
Yeah,
Race Rabbit.
Race Rabbit?
Do you remember Race Rabbit?
No.
One of the Kablam shorts, which was done by Scott Fellows, the guy who brought us Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Oh yeah.
And you can kind of see in the style, like it's kind of like direct a little bit, like kind of the wackier, kind of the swish, not swish pan, but I mean, like kind of like the cuts and like the way we would kind of pan the camera in Ned's Declassified to like away, like the weasel stuff like that.
We love Ned's Declassified here.
Yeah, so it looks, if knowing that it's done by that guy, you can kind of see like, oh man, there's a bit of a style like pre Ned's Declassified with Race Rabbit. Essentially, Race Rabbit was like one of the few live action shorts that Kablam did, and it was great. The idea being you had this bunny, it was a racer and kind of a secret agent, and he would enter like essentially a Grand Prix every episode. And you have like kind of a Dick Dastardly. Imagine the most condensed version of. Again, it's kind of what we have here in that it's not Wacky Race that everyone has a unique car. It's basically you have like our good racer and our evil racer, and the one is trying to sabotage our good guy. Yeah, and all these each episode had different wacky plans and shenanigans for how like the bad racer would try and like beat Race Rabbit in a race. One of the funniest being he put a love interest in the equation. Like there was basically a robotic female bunny that and again, this is like an actual bunny. It's like there's like like an actual, presumably like an actual bunny or some stock footage of a bunny in the car.
Nice.
They'd have like like a dub of like like the voice of the rabbit talking to his onboard computer in the car. Who basically, oh, Race, you should speed up or you should be careful. Like, the finish line is like, oh, don't worry. Again, very James Bond, like, he's, oh, don't worry about that. No, it was great. So Race Rabbit's definitely looking again. God bless Kablam, folks. They've like all these shorts, and none of them are ever really missed. You got Prometheus and Bob. You got Action Week now. You got Life with Loopy. You got Race Rabbit, and I'm trying to remember what the Peanuts parody was called. I think it's like the Offbeats. It's the Offbeats.
Huh. I really need to watch.
And all of them in different animation style, like all different styles too. That was the really impressive thing. One stop motion, one's like kind of like
and of course intercut with Henry and June.
Yeah.
I want to watch. I want to watch the show. I just downloaded the first episode. I'm gonna watch it soon.
There you go.
I want to get into Kablam. It sounds like a show that'd be right up my alley.
I still think the most impressive of all the styles, Life with Loopy, I still think, because that blended everything. Like they didn't adhere to just one style. Like it was very much kind of like they fused like live action, just kind of cardboard cutouts, and it was impressive. I will caution you this. I think one of the Kablam also tested pilots out on the show. Now, I love that they did this, and this gave me. They had a lot of really great things that came out of this. You had one of my all time favorite shorts of animation I've ever seen. It's called it's very simple. It's called a Utica cartoon, and it's basically about this bear who eats hot dogs. And it's great. It's just bare bones animations. A Canadian Frank Krause, I think, was the animator's name. He basically did this really. They would debut pilots and just kind of shorts and stuff like that amidst like the main shows, like the main five. I just kind of listed out there. Like you have stuff like that, or they did like Captain Logan's from Geek Evolution. His Let There Be Giants. They had this. They did a music video that they put on there. Doctor Worm.
Huh.
They call me Doctor Worm. It's
I said, this show really sounds like it'd be right up my alley.
oh my god, Jacob, you would love the variety show. You'd love it.
It sounds like I would.
Yes.
It was hard to find anywhere before they put it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. See, before Paramount Plus, I have like the burn copy I got from Comic Con one year.
And now it's official.
Yeah, now it's official. Thank goodness.
Yep. So we can bring Kablam back in, but how about we get talking about the race?
True. Okay, so it's the Grand Prix is on, and it's so darn cute seeing Linda and Lawrence in their and doing couple stuff together. I love it when we see them doing couple stuff together. Like we saw them, like around Halloween, like stealing candy from children.
Yeah, where she dresses the nurse, then he dresses up as the gorilla to scare them.
That's what I'm saying. It's just so friggin' adorable. I love them being kind of saucy with each other.
Yep, and now they're wearing like the pleather race suits and making like she made snacks in the shape of like racing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That was amazing to me. I love it. I love they had like a sandwich with like tomatoes as like the tires.
Yep, an actual like tires snacks to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Candace comes in like she sees that the boys aren't doing anything, thinks she could kill some time watching the race.
Yep.
And the adorable thing is, she actually gets into it.
Yeah.
And even goes to get a racing suit herself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, that's basically while the boys and kids are doing who knows what in the backyard.
Well, it looks like they're creating like life for like a giant foot.
It,
Basically, it's basically they're making Quentin Tarantino's his wet dream essentially.
Oh god, the giant foot to step on him.
Well, I mean, I don't think it would step on him, but just it's like I need my camera. He'd be just chasing it like the director from King Kong, just like, oh, the beauty of it. I'm going to cast Margot Robbie as the voice of this foot.
Oh god, that's disturbing.
Yep.
Anyway,
I was saying, like, of all the Tarantino like foot gags that we've kind of foot moments we've had in his movies, it still feels to be the most. It still feels to me the most like on the nose we've ever been. It's like it's one of the examples is Margot. So many bare feet in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, it was a good movie though.
No, it's a great movie. I'm just saying, like you just have like like Margot Robbie putting up her icky feet, or icky like dirty feet like while she's watching a movie, and just like Tarantino's like, oh yes, we're going to we want to care about this lady, and let's show her like in a movie theater being really carefree, and there's her big dirty hippie feet.
Yep.
There's just more dirty hippie feet like later on, like the hitchhikers.
Yep, and then those hitchhikers, and it'd have to be the Manson family.
Yep.
Yeah. Fortunately, it ended better in the movie than it did in real life.
Oh yeah, best, obviously one of the best twists in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Is we brutally murder bad people to save the pregnant lady.
Yep. and and so yeah.
There's the point being the
Moving on,
boys are building something that Tarantino's sure to get a lot of mileage out of.
and we don't know why or what it is.
No.
Although it has like some kind of DNA coming out of kind of like a kiddie pool, and then
Yep.
next thing you see, it's a giant foot.
Again, strand of Quentin Tarantino's DNA, and it becomes a giant foot that sounds like Quentin Tarantino.
Like, yep.
He's become his obsession.
Oh, another fun fact, like another well, not that I didn't mean to click on that, but Swampy himself is actually a big racing fan.
Well, tracks. He's English. Sorry, he's not. Sorry, not English, but he was in the UK.
I mean, he worked for a while. He lived for a while in the UK.
I mean, it would make sense. He would appreciate the racing scene over there.
Yep.
But the other thing I kept thinking about with this episode was how much I really love Ford versus Ferrari.
I haven't seen that movie.
I love it. Tiki like throws it off as like it's a dad movie. Where I don't. I really love it.
And he throws off a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Well, look. To be fair, he just can't get into it. No, it's not a law. Everyone has to like the same movies. But I really love Ford versus Ferrari. I mean, I still just I don't know. I can't even explain why. I was just really connected with that movie, and I thought it was like James Mangold just really firing all cylinders. I think he did such a good job with that movie.
Unfortunately, it's not on Disney Plus.
I mean, it's Jacob. Check around. At times it's been on Max. It might have returned to Max. I don't know.
All right, not to check it out.
Like it cycles around. Like it might be on Peacock, might be on Max. Like just look around a little, or buy physical media.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
But it's not on there either.
Okay. Well, that's anyway.
So like
Might
so
be
Perry.
Mayo.
Oh yeah, go on.
Well, sorry, one more. Paramount Plus. Okay.
So Batman. Sorry.
Let's talk about Batman. So,
Sorry, I was trying to pull Brave and the Bold back up.
yeah. So Jacob's Jacob's preferred half brother.
Yes, he's also Batman in Harley Quinn.
Yep.
So Perry receives his mission from Major Monogram about the Grand Prix in Montevillebad, which is obviously not a real city, and talks about Doof going there to win the Grand Prix. And what do you think of the car?
I do love
the Olsen Martin.
I love the Olsen Martin. Like I love the fact it's a reference to the Aston Martin. It looks really cool. Okay. I was geeking out about this car because I love how versatile it is. That it keeps transforming into everything that the platypus is going to need,
including like the mustache.
I lost it. Oh my god, the mustache! It's just like the coolest car I've ever seen in my life. I love it.
And it's from this show of all things.
Well, it's one of the coolest. Sorry, I'm just saying in terms of as much as I love the Batmobile can't transform into a mustache.
Yep, it can't. not even in the campier stuff.
I'm just saying it's the fact that like my gadget love just kind of being taken to the next level. Like, oh my god, it's not only is it just like Bond's Aston Martin, it can transform into anything that you're going to need. It's like I think it's the childish fantasy of what James Bond's car could have been.
And of course, it's a reference to one of the writers of the show, Martin Olsen.
Well, I know. I really appreciate that too. I thought that was really cool.
I mean, if you have like a writer with the name Martin in there, and you're doing a Bond parody, you kind of have to go with that.
Oh yeah.
So they're in a game, like in a casino. Doofenshmirtz at a casino. Or do you want to do it as well?
Yeah, let's go for it. Doofenshmirtz at a casino.
Yeah. And he's playing a game of cards. Which is actually tic-tac-toe. because they can't show. They probably have some rule against showing poker in this. See that, or they're just trying to be funny.
I think it's a simplified thing where I don't know. You have to figure out the poker game, and like the kids aren't going to know how to play poker, so.
Yep. So like they'll understand tic tac toe, and it's a funny visual gag anyway.
Yeah.
It's like so Perry beats him.
I love that we had like the real James Bond just kind of storm off.
That's Agent. That was Agent 000. Remember?
Well, yeah. Who essentially is the real James Bond.
Yep. Remember he was in Elementary, My Dear Stacy, when Perry teamed up.
Yeah. As I'm saying, we saw him there, so we kind of brought him back here.
Yep. And he lost to Doofenshmirtz against Tic Tac Toe.
Yep.
Feels bad, man. It's like so Doofenshmirtz goes on a yacht to his new evil lair.
Okay, I love the idea that Doofenshmirtz did like a kind of a summer lair swap.
Yep. And the other guys just seem just like sticking in, like he has like a like something you on his hand where you can stick implements it with like a Bond villain.
Yeah, so he's very much. I think he's I think he's technically supposed to be a combination of Blofeld and a little bit of Goldfinger.
It even has the cat.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's not my mysterious platypus. Oh, you mean
Oh,
this?
the cat.
It's
With all the Bond henchmen kind of gags, like the guy who comes for the cat is modeled after Oddjob.
Yep. And of course when Norm's there, we have him. He's wearing the
Jaws teeth.
Yep. and of course Doofenshmirtz recommissioned a jingle to sound like a Bond, like the Goldfinger theme, basically.
Yes, I love this so much. I love the fact that it's his real estate agent.
It's like Cheryl. Like,
yep.
Doofenshmirtz, swanky new evil lair.
It's a great song. It's a great parody. Now, you gotta remember the roots of Phineas and Ferb. Like when we first saw Doofenshmirtz, and this is like a thing you see all the time in animation, where you have voice actors who become very comfortable in a role over time, where the voice becomes a lot more natural and kind of shifts a little from what it was in the beginning. In the beginning, and I pointed this out to you way back when. The way he played Doofenshmirtz in the beginning, there's a lot more of like kind of an Ernst Stavros Blofeld kind of going on. There was a bit more of like the foreignness was in the voice a little bit. You heard like, so if you hold him upside to side, you see, Doofenshmirtz very much kind of becomes a lot more just kind of a funny sounding, just kind of like cartoon character voice. In the beginning, though, it was that, but it was also like a little bit like, okay, we're going for a Bond parody here.
And yeah, you're not wrong there. You have Awkward Ted saying, so basically several Bond villains were tossed into a blender and shaken, not stirred.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. I had to. I mean, he basically threw it right to me. If I didn't take that swing, I would have been a missed opportunity.
Yep.
So yeah, great song. God, I love that. I would love to live in the new evil lair. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in that lair? Even as a rocket. but yeah. So, but Doof is basically taking care of like all kinds of the other things to secure his. Basically, the winner of the Grand Prix the money is donated to charity. And Doofenshmirtz's charity, Dragon, what is it?
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
I'm the Doofenshmirtz of Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. You get it.
It's a pretty solid plot. Like, I'm just gonna. I love that it's all these elaborate Bond trimmings, and ultimately it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna win the race and donate it to me.
Yep. Both of these episodes have surprisingly had good ideas from Doofenshmirtz.
Yep, and he has the I don't care-inator, which sounds a lot like.
Yep.
We don't care.
So when you're hit by this thing, you would go.
We don't care.
Exactly. You see a loop.
It's It's like the I don't care-inator.
Like, no, it's not that I don't care. It's that makes you feel, it's apathy. But this sounded catchier.
Yep. So it's like but yeah, the whole thing is like Paolo Vanderbeek is introduced as someone who cares about racing and his fans, like the most caring person in driving. So to take care of that, Doofenshmirtz zaps him with the inator, having him and makes him walk off the track. Yeah, I don't care.
By the way, we should probably talk about how Paulo Vanderbeek does with his color scheme and everything. I think we're kind of referencing Mario Karts a little bit.
I mean, that's probably a bit of a stretch, but
I'm just saying the color scheme and everything. It's a very distinct mustache and the height thing. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I mean, he is part Italian, so.
Well, I'm just saying though. It feels like with him being part Italian, like we're very much parodying like the ultimate like kind of cartoony Italian.
Yeah.
Short, he can race. He's wearing red and blue. Very chipper, upbeat. People love him.
I mean, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see the parallels there. I don't think it was an intentional reference, but personally, but who knows? Maybe it was. It's like so basically, Doof is trying to make his way. So Jay, where do you want to go here? So Perry gets swallowed by a shark.
Again, because it was part of the lair. You had the don't touch the rocket, but you have like the sharks.
Yep. And of course, another classic Bond villain thing. Although in this case, it's kind of similar to also an Austin Powers thing, except these sharks don't have freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
Freaking laser beams attached to their head.
Like I said, they don't have freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
I still love that. I still love that Dr. Evil was an impression of Lorne Michaels. It still cracks me up to no end ever since I learned that.
That is kind of funny.
Just Mike Myers' like impression of like this Lorne Michaels. If you really listen to it, it does sound. Oh my god, it does sound like Lorne Michaels.
It is kind of funny though that Monty isn't in this episode.
Yeah. There wouldn't have been like really a good excuse to have him though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of glad they did stick with just having Perry in this episode because I think Monty and they would kind of overstuffed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is kind of sad that they didn't have him in here for that. It would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
So Perry, the monitor. So Carl. Now we can actually go. Dang it, Carl! In a moment. So Carl's trying to cheer up. They're trying to get Paolo to care again. It's like pretty please with a cherry on top. And so basically,
Dang it, Carl.
So Dragon, what do you think? Oh, that went away. I don't know how I can say. There we go. So Carl's not doing a very good job to motivate Paolo Vanderbeek.
Let's see, most motivating Carl. I'm thinking. Well, the thing is between Carl the Robot and Carl Fredricksen is the motivating Carl.
Well, it'd be post-movie Carl Fredricksen.
All right, fair enough. Let's say Carl the Minion as well. Oh, okay, scratch all that. Okay, easily most motivating Carl.
Yeah.
Combat Carl.
Yep.
Easily. I don't know what I was thinking. Combat Carl.
Did you hear who they got to? Supposedly, who they got to voice Combat Carl in Toy Story 5?
God, I'm trying.
Ernie Hudson.
Right. That's great.
From what I heard, I don't know how true it is, but from what I heard, they got him to voice.
I think it would be foolish if they should absolutely get Ernie Hudson. That's perfect casting.
It is, of course, it is.
But Ernie Hudson's so cool. I've been in the vicinity of that man. I think once.
Nice.
Actually, I'm sorry. Scratch that. I don't think no, sorry, that was my friend. Like he mentioned, he was. Never mind. So scratch. I haven't actually. No, I don't think I've ever been in the vicinity of Ernie Hudson. My buddy has.
All right.
Either way, I never would have met him. I'm just saying if it was in like the same convention room as him, I would realize, wait a minute, if he was there, I would absolutely try to meet him. Why would I not be in the vicinity of?
Yeah, maybe it's just like you already met everyone else and you didn't have enough money.
No, it's not. No, not that. It's just again, he just wasn't there.
Ah, that stinks.
Could be look, even if I can't buy anything, I would still like try to walk up to him.
I mean, I'm gonna be meeting some people coming up in like an upcoming convention in like 20 days.
Yeah.
Which I can explain later. As to not derail this conversation even more.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Okay.
So yeah, as you're saying.
Okay, the point being, we have a pretty exciting race going on here.
Like Perry does, like Perry steps in by transforming his car yet again into a mustache to convincingly pass off as Paolo Vanderbeek.
Yep, flawlessly.
It helps that he actually has a beak.
Well, yeah.
It's like so Doofenshmirtz is throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, to try and get ahead of all the other racers. Again, one of Doofenshmirtz's better thought out plans.
I love the mistake that he makes though with the tax, where it's like, oh, that's why they come out in the back.
Yeah, because he ran over them himself.
It's just a great kind of physics thing where they're if the fire mechanism is mounted in the front part of the Formula One car, it's a recipe for disaster. They have to let them drop. You can't shoot them out in front of you.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically the only thing where Doof went wrong.
Yeah,
and even then, he still came close to winning.
Oh yeah,
but
I mean, no one else cared.
No one else cared. Like, or you could say,
we don't care.
Exactly.
So so Perry manages to grab the I don't care-inator. Reverse it, because of course Doofenshmirtz put in a reverse switch. And now Paolo Vanderbeek cares again and manages to beat Doofenshmirtz.
Very race rabbit kind of like solution there. Like, there's a delay and then I'm getting back in the race.
Did Race Rabbit ever do a reference to Tortoise and the Hare?
What?
Did Race Rabbit ever do a reference to Tortoise and the Hare?
At least once, I think they did, but I'm not sure.
And I'm just saying it'd be kind of a missed opportunity if they didn't.
I'm gonna say I think like the whole there was I don't know if it was for example, I think there's a parody of Tortoise in there, but there's no actual turtle. That's what I'm trying to remember, if there's an actual turtle or not.
I mean, I'm just saying it'd be kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But anyway, so so yeah. Doofenshmirtz swerves off course into a swimming pool. Vanderbeek wins the race. Yep. And that's it. Both two very good episodes, wouldn't you say, Dragon?
I would agree, yes. Yeah.
All right, so I guess I can move on to the brief news. First up, about people I might see at GalaxyCon.
Well, okay.
Okay, we don't have to do that then. Okay, I'll skip that and just move on to the guest stars. All right.
Okay, yeah. Who's going to be on? Let's talk about the relevant thing. Who's going to be on a revival?
It's like Michael Bublé's helping write a song.
Nice.
Apparently, we have Meeps returning, and apparently this time voiced by John Stamos.
Hey.
We have Brendan Hunt and Cristo Fernandez from Ted Lasso.
Hey.
You know who Cristo Fernandez is, right?
Yeah, that's Danny.
Danny Rojas.
Yeah, Danny Rojas. Yes.
The best character in Ted Lasso.
Who, by the way, is all over the third Venom movie.
Yep.
Well,
Like I
not
said,
all over, but we kind of bookend him in the Venom movie.
I said no. Like he's also in the new Sonic 3 movie too.
Yeah,
He's like also the best character in Ted Lasso, besides Roy
he is.
Kent. But he's besides Roy Kent, of course.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, did you see Goldstein's stand-up special?
no,
Okay.
is that on Apple TV?
No, that's on HBO.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Kelly Dempsey. I don't know who that is.
I imagine a relative of Patrick Dempsey.
No idea. Alan Cumming.
Hey,
You recognize Alan Cumming?
yeah.
Where do you recognize him from?
What do you mean world record? Okay, first, many roles, but I guess the most iconic ones for our purposes, Nightcrawler from X2,
Oh, nice.
and Floop from Spy Kids.
Oh, nice.
I still think Floop was. I love his performance of Floop in Spy Kids. That's just me, but yeah.
Lake Bell.
Hey,
Yeah, I remember that name.
yeah.
Leslie Jones.
Okay, it's all right.
Anna Faris.
Yeah, all right.
Megan Rapinoe.
No idea.
She's a soccer player.
Okay,
So I'm guessing if educated guess, she's probably gonna be in the same episode as the Ted Lasso characters.
that would make sense. Yeah.
Megan Trainor, that singer.
Yeah.
Reese Darby,
Hey.
who I think was in Milo, who had, if I remember correctly, was in a bit of Milo Murphy's Law.
No.
And Ruth Nega, I think her name was.
Oh, from Preacher.
Yep. And that's not all, Dragon.
That's not all.
There's one more.
Is it Mark Hamill?
No.
Darn.
But he was in Milo Murphy's Law.
Okay.
But it is an actor, Dragon, that you're a fan of.
Is it Tom Cavanaugh?
No.
Is it Vincent D'Onofrio?
No.
Duh. Is it
Want me to
Greg
give you a hint?
Lyles?
No, it's not Great Lyle.
All right,
Want me
give me a hint.
He was in a cartoon in an animated series we discussed recently. Do you want his initials or do you want like another one?
What are the initials?
JB.
JB.
Yeah.
Jeff Bennett?
No.
All right, JB. Can you give me another hint?
Let's just say he's a hit. He also played a hitman.
Also played a hitman.
And or fixer.
Jonathan Banks?
Jonathan Banks.
Oh my god!
Yep. He plays Candace's driving instructor in one of the upcoming episodes.
Oh yes.
Yep, they got Jonathan Banks.
Oh my god, yes, that's gonna be great.
Yep. I was like, when I read that, I was like, that was the main reason why I told you not to read the articles. Was because I knew once you heard that Jonathan Banks was going to be in the new show, you'd be like, oh my god.
Yes.
So yeah. So we have him to look forward to. We have all of them to look and more to look forward to in the upcoming season.
All right.
Pretty good ensemble so far, wouldn't you
He's
say?
a heck of a start, I'll say that much.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to end it up for this week, Dragon?
Yeah.
All right. We had two good episodes and some very good news, wouldn't you say?
I would say yes.
So thank you, Awkward Ted, Code Geass, and briefly Little Blue a couple times too. So thank you all for joining us next week. And actually, next week is the final episode where there's two segments. The remaining episodes are either the hour-long specials and just one two-parter. So next week is the last one of that. So be prepared for a string of hour-long specials after next week's episode.
Mm.
Good night, and join us where things get a little lost. I'll say that much. Good night, everybody.
Kablam!